transition from the Government Excellence Model 1.0 to the sister version 2.0 is a valid argument for the following reason. The previous capability maturity assessment tool tended to assume that government entities are well versed with the concept of capability management, and they have the required expertise to carefully select the right capabilities and deploy them in the right way, whilst tracking the performance impact generated from the smart strategy of capability deployment. However, the reality has demonstrated that the mindset is still considering capabilities holistically speaking, without any nomenclature or any method for discerning between the various types of capabilities and distinguishing between them in terms of relevance and value. As the previous capability assessment tool indicates, the assessment criteria tend to leap directly into an evaluation of capabilities and whether they meet the needs of the various stakeholders without raising the question about design or fitness for the purpose. And the maturity gauge tends to look at the extent to which the existing capabilities meet the needs of some or most of the stakeholders, to the point where the capabilities on a maturity scale are subjected to the question as to whether their deployment exceeds the expectation of the various stakeholders and whether they impact significantly on the achievement of strategy results. Furthermore, the previous capability assessment tool tends to focus more on whether the capabilities are related to the work that the various entities undertake and the extent to which the capabilities are based on current thinking, are based on best practice, and whether their impact is significant because of the novelty they include in their design and in the execution. And the additional dimensions that are in the capability assessment tool of GEM 1.0 also relate to the adequacy of using the existing resources to support the capabilities deployment in order to deliver with high levels of efficiency. Lastly, the assessment focuses on the regularity of considering the improvement of capabilities and whether the improvement is based on learning and the injection of innovative ideas. The previous assessment tool is focused mainly on the impact that is measured in terms of performance excellence at an operation level by looking at the effectiveness, efficiency, and optimization. It does not prompt the questions related to the generation of outcomes which particularly matter to stakeholders, and it does not evaluate the deployment of capabilities that can generate a significant impact, for instance, on well-being. With this in mind, the capabilities assessment tool based on GEM 2.0 has been completely redesigned to include a new logic, a new mindset, and tackling the deficiencies that have been identified from the feedback received from all the critical stakeholders involved with the design and development of GEM 1.0 or its implementation, its utilization, and its usefulness. The capabilities assessment tool for GEM 2.0 is an integrated aspect with 4 dimensions, one relating to the design of the capabilities, their deployment, the emphasis on transformation as opposed to nudging, improving, and learning and development through a single loop perspective, and at an extreme level, even transformation in terms of abandoning what works and perhaps works well in order to introduce something new for doing new thinking. The dimensions of CHEM 2.0 capability assessment tool are described as follows. 1. Design. The process of developing the capabilities that can drive value creation for all the stakeholders, and the extent to which the design of specific capabilities can help achieve at the highest level, i.e. national objectives. Number 2, deployment. The process of deploying capabilities in all the critical areas of government entities in order to help achieve the desired outcomes, and doing so by making the best use possible of available resources. Number 3, transformation. The process of enhancing capabilities by injecting learning based on novel thinking, and in support with enablement coming from digital transformation and the use of advanced analytical techniques in order to ensure that the existing know-how is and can be maintained with the relevance in mind. Number 4, disrupt. The capabilities that as a result of disruption are unique and distinctive, and which are subjected to regular consideration and constantly being challenged in order to ensure that the thinking on which the know-how is based is disruptive, is at the leading edge, and very much capable of creating value for the stakeholders, and the know-how that is necessary for delivering primary outcomes in terms of enhancing national well-being and enabling the entities concerned to compete at the top level. The maturity grid that is based on the translation of the 4 dimensions alluded to is very much about ensuring that the design is fit for the purpose, and that is all the capabilities that are designed represent what is current, what can serve a dual purpose. One is the present and the other one is the future. And it is also important that the capabilities are not for doing only, they are for helping the government entity behave as an ecosystem and allow for flexibility and agile utilization to be executed. And the design is also to enable the organization ultimately to acquire dynamic capabilities that can create a competitive advantage, and those tend to be based on enabling through agility and adaptation. The implementation of the hierarchy of capabilities that are designed with fitness for the purpose is to ensure that they are smartly deployed in the right place for the right purpose and in the right way, and their implementation will ultimately increase the momentum of creating value, adopting excellence in all of its perspectives, and being able to absorb and leverage all what is possible through insight orientation, and being optimal in terms of making the best use possible out of the resources available. The digital effect is the icing on the cake, and it is very much what makes a difference. The capabilities that are deployed are constantly subjected to evaluation, validation, and a learning process that is based on creating major leaps in advancement through innovation and reconfiguring the capabilities or even disrupting the existing deployment by introducing radical thinking and new methods that have never been tried before. Overall, the transformation is to ensure that learning is really to drive innovation, and learning is not for tweaking, for nudging, or for optimizing. All capabilities must be subjected to digital transformation in order to leverage innovation from everywhere it can be accessed, and in order to allow digital transformation to continue to reconfigure, to modify, to enhance, and to renew the capabilities. Eventually, an organization that has the mastery of capability management through fitness for the purpose design, through smart deployment, through allowing the pervasiveness of digital transformation to help nurture and create the ecosystem, will start to consider disruption by looking at new thinking with new ideas in mind. So the changes that will be effected will be to help maintain the health of the ecosystem, and even to the extent to which new models can be created.